through Worcester County, Maryland is like a ride through the history of American architectural design. Throughout the county are properties on the National Register of Historic Places. We begin in Ocean City with the very modern. Here, the mix of the old and new is evident, sometimes in stark contrast. The adage that form follows function can be seen in the sleek high-rise hotels and condominiums that were conceived with one purpose: to house as many visitors as possible. But they are not devoid of interesting details, shapes, and colors. Designers have done their best to imbue newer buildings with a coastal feel. In the 1980s, the Thomas Point Lighthouse was replicated at 56th Street. More recently, the Bank of Ocean City's 59th Street branch was built to look like an early 20th century beach house. When viewed from the water, the town's architecture rises from the horizon like a string of lovely beads. As you drive through town, you can see a whimsical approach in places like the Castle in the Sand Hotel at 37th Street. The fantastic creatures like dragons, dinosaurs, and an assortment of other animals which adorn mini golf courses may not technically be architecture, but they certainly do not escape our notice, and they are part of the rich diversity of design here. There are still hints of the 1960s building boom in places like the Flamingo, whose simplicity is offset by its Vegas-style signage. Some buildings are worth noting for their historical significance, like the Henry Hotel with its cedar shake siding. It's a reminder of the sad legacy of segregation, when African Americans were not welcome in white establishments, and even jazz greats like Duke Ellington and Louis Armstrong, who came to perform here, had to find special accommodations. Though the town is continually building and rebuilding in almost every neighborhood, the downtown retains much of its Victorian charm, ending at the inlet with the iconic Ocean City Life-Saving Station Museum. As you go west, crossing over the Route 50 bridge, the red gambrel roof of Hooper's Crab House stands on the shore of Sinnapuxent Bay as a beacon for every kid heading in the opposite direction, anticipating their arrival to the beaches and boardwalk of Ocean City. Near Assateague Island is the Ratcliffe Plantation House. It was made with Flemish Bond brick and was restored to its colonial glory just a few years ago. Next, we head to Berlin. In 2014, named America's coolest small town, it's also the quintessential Victorian-era small town. The Berlin Library stands out as one of the few modern structures, but was in fact designed to look like a Native American longhouse. The town has a variety of lovely old homes, and as you leave Berlin, peeking from behind a tree-lined lane is the stately Mary Sherwood, an Italianate plantation with a widow's walk cupola. It was once converted to a bed and breakfast, but has now been returned to private use. As we head south, it is worth stopping to see the Newark train station and taking a jog over to the Nassawango Iron Furnace, which was built in 1830 to produce iron from bog ore deposits found in the swamps of the Pocomoke River forest. Just down the road is the mysterious mansion built to look like a concrete tree trunk by artist Frank Warren in 1915. Snow Hill is the county seat with its lovely brick courthouse and a variety of Victorian homes. The architectural details seen throughout the town are quite beautiful. Macomie Memorial Presbyterian Church is an historic Gothic revival structure built in the late 1880s. Across the street is an old Catholic chapel which was converted to house the Julia Purnell Museum. There are a number of beautiful churches around the county, and it is worth mentioning here the historic St. Martin's Episcopal Church at the other end of the county in Shell, which has been restored, retaining most of its original Flemish Bond brick. Pocomoke City, the southernmost town in our county, like its neighbors to the north, has several notable Victorian homes. Sitting on the Pocomoke River with a charming bridge house nearby is the Delmarva Discovery Center. Once an early car dealership, it has been renovated to house a wonderful collection of historical artifacts and an aquarium. The natural beauty here is complemented by human touches wherever you go. As you travel through the countryside, handsome farms dot the landscape. Some may have fallen into disrepair, but they still serve to inspire many local artists. In fact, much of the architecture of Worcester County is worthy of artistic rendering. This has led to annual plein-air painting events in Snow Hill, Berlin, and Ocean City. All in all, it's well worth a day trip just to ride around Worcester County and take in all the architectural views.